Join us for our 10th Annual Northside Arts Festival on April 21st. Visit acbainc.org.
So, Michael, how are you?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Good, good. Listen, the Alamo City Dance Company's spring concert is coming up this next weekend, and it looks like it's going to be an evening of original works. And your ballet that you've created is going to be presented first on the program. Tell us a little bit about the story.
Yes. So,
is it based on a story?
A little bit. It's more about a concept, I would say. The ballet is called Seis Colores de Tejas, and it's loosely based on the Six Flags of Texas. But rather than look at like the nationalistic approach of the flag itself, I decided to look at the different cultural influences that each nation and each country had on the area that we know as Texas now. So there are 6 main dancers, and each one represents one of the countries, and they influence this little core of young dancers we've decided to call the Lost Souls. And I'm excited to see, how they've taken all the different cultures.
So how are the Lost Souls? How do they figure in? Is it like, there's a really rich history here in San Antonio at that time when it was occupied by different flags. Are the Lost Souls all of those people?
Yeah, they're more of like an abstract representation of the general population and how they were either forced to assimilate into a culture or willingly chose or revolted, or like at the end of the Civil War, how they had the concession period where they had to readapt our state constitution to rejoin America, and they just kind of represent that, how some people were resistant and some were more open to the idea, and those kinds of things. So.
Well, like most ballets are based on fairy tales or legends. This one is actually based in true history, isn't it?
Yes.
How do you approach that? How do you make that happen?
A lot of research. I think I reconceived the ballet 3 times approximately. So it's very different from the first thought process that we had. Originally it was going to be kind of like a big series of 6 different sections with different music from the different time periods, and it just got very complicated really quick. So instead I opted to choose one composer, Arturo Marquez, and choose some of his really wonderful sensational music to instead do an abstract imagining of.
So is he a Hispanic composer?
Yes, he is a Mexican-Hispanic composer.
Uh-huh.
He's most famous for his danzón, which we'll be using. It's our finale music. And then I searched for a long time for music, and I found one of his lesser-known works called Leyenda de Emiliano, which I really liked. And so we put those 2 pieces together, and then it just kind of fell into place. I kind of heard where each country could be and how you could adapt the music to their style. It works nicely.
Well, that's really interesting that the music did work with the concept. Did you know him as a composer? Were you familiar with his work, or did you happen upon him, or how did that work? How did that happen?
Well, Susan Trevino urged me to think about looking at a Hispanic composer. She thought that would be fun, which I'm glad she did, because now I can't imagine the ballet being done to anyone else's music. Yeah. And so when I was looking, I asked my siblings, and it was actually my little brother who said, we played this piece in high school, the danzón, and then I really liked that, and I said, I have to use that piece of music, and so then I searched for another piece of music to pair with it. And that was kind of how it worked.
You come from a family of musicians and dancers and all kinds of interesting people. What would you like to say in closing, about the ballet? We want people to come and see it because it's very original, it's very symbolic in a lot of ways. There's a lot of symbolism I see just in the rehearsals. What do you want people to take away from it?
I think that I want people to just take away that our history is very rich. There's a lot of influences that we may not even think about anymore. And that we realize, and I think it's important that people recognize how important each country and each influence has been, especially as we look forward to like our melting pot culture of America, and how at the end we did this big finale where all of the dancers, the Lost Souls, and all of the countries dance together to symbolize that even though we may not be under Spanish or French or Mexican rule, that they are still very much a part of who we are today. And I think that's very important. And that's what I hope that people will walk with. Yeah.
Well, great. I'm really looking forward to the premiere on Friday and Saturday. Oh, it's Saturday night, I think it is.
Saturday at 3 and 6:30.
And 3 and 6:30. And I want to congratulate you on a wonderful piece. And I think you have a bright future as a choreographer. So stay in touch. Let us know what you're doing.
Will do. Thank you.